Thank you. This is so incredible. I feel like I was born questioning everything about reality, feeling lost and alone and always worried that I was deeply unlovable. And watching your movies to all of my SAG members made me feel less alone and made me feel like that was a safe place for me to explore my creativity. So thank you.
You think of Brie Larson as Captain Marvel?
Just heard about that. I really hope
There's
that
a strong
happens.
rumor.
I
Right.
love Brie Larson. We did a movie together back in Orlando, the Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I cannot say enough about Brie Larson. I think she's phenomenal, and I really hope that happens.
I'd like to hand it over to the woman of the hour, Brie Larson.
I walked away thinking my friend, the movie star, is crossing over into, a new space that's going to be really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Season.
Every weekend. She won another one. It was amazing. It was an amazing thing to witness. No, she was great. And she's so spirited.
Yeah.
And she was so much fun on this.
It's like, God, it's impressive.
I mean,
you see that photo of her on the carpet and her back?
Yes!
Like,
Yes!
It was like her
Like,
back just had like a mean
muscle,
face on
muscle.
it.
Yeah, that's like inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get there.
Who's your favorite Avenger? First off.
My favorite Avenger is the newest Avenger, Brie Larson. Captain
There you
Marvel.
go. Brie, Brie, come.
That's my girl.
I learned a lot from her
Yeah, and that dynamic.
during the course of the film, and it helps a lot. She's my first alien.
Brie's wonderful. She's an absolutely phenomenal actress with such natural intelligence.
Oh, girl.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
right?
You kicked the doors down.
That's really it.
It felt like there's a whole new era opening up in the world.
It's amazing.
And Brie's leading the way.
It's just great to agree. Bless you. Fun springtime you're having.
Yeah. A badass. She walked on the set. She was like, I'm super nervous. And then she just totally killed it and just, stole the whole scene. So she handled herself very.
Incredible to go to work with her. Somebody I can trust, somebody I enjoy, somebody I know is going to make what we're getting ready to do fun. And it's always one of those, we can make this seem like we've known each other forever. And
Bree, it seems like you're tearing up. Are you tearing up?
지금 어때요, 기분이?
Are you tearing up? Oh my goodness.
Yes, very good.
But we got it!
I love Brie Larson. She's just so cool. I do. I genuinely love her with a passion. I watch all of her stuff. She's brilliant.
I was just thinking how excited I am about Brie Larson, who's shooting Captain Marvel right now.
And then for you, I was like completely shooketh seeing you in the Captain Marvel trailer. Side note, you shocked me. You shocked everyone because I didn't know you were in it. And I felt like confused. I was excited. What was your reaction to the trailer? Side note.
I just think Brie Larson's awesome.
Yes.
She's so awesome. She's super cool, and I was just excited to see. You know, you on a behemoth of a film like that.
Yeah.
You only get to do your little bit, and so there was all this stuff. I hadn't seen the stuff that she'd done with Samuel, and so there was all this stuff that just, and a lot of the effects, obviously, that I hadn't seen finished. So I was just thrilled to see her looking so damn cool.
What was more intimidating, making your Oscar acceptance speech or meeting Samuel L. Jackson for the first time?
I mean, that's really easy. Of course it was meeting Sam for the first time.
Thank you, Brie.
I was sat next to him at dinner, at our like welcome dinner, and I thought that he was like mad at me for the first hour, and then I won him over.
You did?
Yeah. I just worked him real hard. I was like, you're gonna like me. We're gonna get along.
Is that how you do everybody?
Yeah. That's what I did to you.
Yeah.
I just wore you down.
She said you're one of her best friends.
Yeah.
Is she one of your best friends?
Of course.
There's some pretty good people coming, by the way, for the Marvel red carpet. Not Priuses.
Oh.
But the Teslas. Kershaw, right? There's gonna be a few Teslas on that.
Who is that?
Come on. You can tell us, can't you?
I don't know.
We're hearing Angelina. Might get a piece of this.
Angelina Jolie?
Oh, in the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
I
Marvel
thought we were
universe.
still
Who's she
talking
gonna
about our
be?
show.
They better not kill off Brie Larson.
Because he just gets injured and I don't. He does all the hard stuff and makes me look cool, and then, but now I've told you, it doesn't make me look cool, does it? Because you know that I don't actually do it.
So you don't do...
I do all my
this is the thing.
stunts.
I did my stunts because I thought that that's what everyone did, and then...
Tom Cruise over here?
No, I'll be the first me, not the next Tom Cruise. Thank you very much.
Well, you know, I mean...
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Who is Brie Larson's stunt double? I have two, Renee Moneymaker and Joanna Bennett. So maybe that answers that question.
Well, let's look at a clip
Oh, okay.
from Captain Marvel
Let's do
that
it.
shows some of the stuff that I'm going to assume is you doing.
Okay.
Here it goes. Does look like you.
Yeah.
What parts weren't you?
So there's a kick where it's kind of like she's like flying over. It's looks like a handless cartwheel. I didn't do that. That was Renee. I don't know. I didn't take gymnastics, so I don't know how to do that. I can do
In
a
that
cartwheel
whole
without
9
that.
months?
In the whole 9 months, yeah, I didn't get to that.
You didn't do
but
that
I have
one.
been thinking about it a lot because obviously, like, I'm competitive with myself, so I want to do better on the next time I have to do something like this. So.
And it has Brie doing most of her own stunts.
Well, part of it was just ignorance. I just thought that that's what was required of me. So I carved out 9 months to train and kind of retool everything. And it wasn't until we started shooting that I realized that nobody does their stunts.
You know how to fly this thing?
We'll see.
Did you fly at all in your training?
I did fly.
You did?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I want to do it again. It was life-changing.
I wanted to take this moment to really say thank you to 2 women who are standing here beside me. These are the women that trained me and were also the stunt doubles for Captain Marvel. I could not have made this film without them. And lastly, a big thank you to Brie for acknowledging our role in this film. It's truly a rare acknowledgement, and it means so much, not only to the both of us, but to the entire stunt community. So thank you so much.
Does his own stunts, you know. No, we all do stunts.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that are like, you might die. So I'm like, you can do that one.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? It was like my first day at school. Like I wasn't gonna mess it up. I was just trying to like be polite and figure my stuff out and like not have a panic attack. Oh, Chris, that's really nice. That's sweet. I'm still stronger than you though.
You're not though.
How was it having Brie there for the first time with all of you guys?
What a great question.
Which one's What a great question.
Yeah.
Which one is Brie?
Brie, sorry.
So am I touching me right here?
Captain Marvel. Brie, what was it like being Captain Marvel with everyone?
Oh no, I liked the question before.
The one we sidestepped.
Yeah.
Now, you go.
Anything? Any comment?
Oh,
you wanna
look,
say?
just inspirational.
You could just look right in
mostly
there.
inspirational.
Oh, so you're not allowed to tell me that she's I already know.
No, I'm
though.
just scared of her.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure I say the right thing. You are the most amazing person on this couch besides Don.
Oh man, that's so sweet.
So
it was going somewhere good and then I was like,
No, it was great. It was great
What
to
was it?
have
Fantastic.
to have her come in. Obviously, it's professionalism, a breath of fresh air. You know, she always
bacon.
She showed up bacon full, always bacon full.
So,
How
you're
was
a
it?
breath of fresh air.
How was it for you walking into
Is that enough?
this setup?
I'm gonna ask for more later, but that's good for now.
On the day that when we did that big photograph, everybody got together and everybody had a book. And everybody was going around like it was, the last day of high school. Okay, could you sign my book? Could you sign my book? And there's a real, I think, affection among the cast members. Except for
No, this is terrible.
But right there with it was probably Captain Marvel.
Oh gosh.
Just gonna say that.
I was like,
I mean, they're neck and neck.
no, guys, seriously.
No, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the
But you
way
did.
that you.
But you did. Pretty well.
You really did. Yeah, it's Evans, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now he's out.
Thank God.
Apparently.
Yeah, what?
Like this could be his last film.
Please.
No, he just likes to. He's like Conor McGregor. I'm retiring. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
The Conor McGregor. Oh, I feel like you're gonna pick like a cartoon or something.
You
Like
can say
Betty Boop.
yourself.
I was.
He doesn't.
Like
the Cats and Jam kid.
Like,
Yeah, I love that film.
Paul Rudd also liked Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Give him a high five.
I will. And Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
of course. Of course.
Awesome.
Totally. Well, speaking of Captain Marvel, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
$1 billion at the box office.
How much of that do you get?
Yeah.
All of it. Do tell. It's actually part of my contract. It
Could I
all just
borrow
goes directly to me.
$7 million?
No, actually, no.
Okay, that makes
Not this
Yeah.
time.
Have you guys given her like a cake or cupcakes?
Bit of money.
We have to give her something? You just said the movie made $1 billion. We have to give her anything.
Oh yeah, that's
She
true.
should be giving us
That's
stuff.
true. You should be.
We shall be baking a cake.
Yeah. You better. Okay.
So you played Thor over the cinematic universe many, many times. What was exciting about playing this version of Thor in Endgame?
Well, each time I've always wanted to do something different than Thor Ragnarok.
And Captain Marvel just made her debut and made her mark in the cinematic universe. How was it to be playing with the Avengers?
I don't know who it was, but I don't even know what my point is in this movie at all. I might just stop in for a quick sec and then leave.
Come on. Quit underselling.
Don't
It was the
say
highlight of your
that.
career.
You remember
Okay,
it's the best thing you've ever
whatever.
done.
No,
When you meet
Highlight
Thor,
of
it's in the
your
trailer.
That's right.
Oh, that's in the trailer, of course.
That you said that was your highlight.
You did say that
As
was the highlight of your
I felt like that
human
was
being
tough
and
to
as a
shoot.
character.
I felt like it was difficult.
Tough.
I remember you being very
Just
difficult
anxiety,
that day.
Yes. We were all just like, relax. We're all.
It's just
human,
Chris.
you know,
It's just Chris.
I'm
Chill
from
out.
Australia. Yeah, touch me, I'm real.
Brie Larson.
I'm Chris Hemsworth.
And I'm Don Larson.
It's so weird that you
Why
read
don't
it
you
in
go
a
like
in
this?
like
Why do you U-turn? Why do you U-turn?
Oh, you spend like 5 minutes up in this, and you'll know. There's a lot of
I'm
like
in
things
shock.
going on.
Who reads like this and goes down and then like that?
Chris
Genius.
Hemsworth does.
Geniuses. Okay, Jarvis, ready?
Okay, yeah.
I think you can be a little too blunt.
Yeah, that's definitely yours. What's mine?
Are you a little reckless?
I can't.
You got a temper.
Okay, so mine actually says, "Congratulations, you made it. You are the best, most inspiring person that survived this." Okay, what about you?
I think you joke around too much. Let's be honest.
Oh, just bring joy to people's lives. Didn't know that was a problem.
Fun game to play. I love the question because, you know, I obviously have like a tongue-in-cheek thing with Chris Hemsworth about it because feels very sad that he's the strongest one. So it's all fun. I honestly think it's whoever character you love is the strongest.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Your punk asses. I'm going back up.
Don't summon me again unless you're ready for that pain. Peace. Holes. The power is mine, bitches.
I want to ask you, does this position come with a lot of responsibility? Do you look at it that way?
Look at it with responsibility. I mean, I am committed to self-improvement, and I work at being the best person that I can be and using this platform for as much good as I can, but it doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes.
Circumstance happens around him. So in a lot of ways, I would lean on the Kevin Feige's and the Joe Russo's and Anthony Russo's and the Mark Simic Feely to try and help me find ways to make him at once consistent, but entertaining.
It's very rare. It's a resting face I was born with, and you know, I built a career around it, so it's awesome.
So right now you look kind of twinkly.
Well, because I'm smiling. Yeah, but when I'm just thinking about like, hey, that is a really amazing looking suit. It looks like I might want to hurt you, right? But I'm thinking like, oh my God, that's a beautiful suit. But if I'm just thinking about it, it looks like I might want to choke you.
Yes, I see it.
So secretive. It's like I didn't really know what I was doing. I still don't know. I still have no idea what role I play in this film at all.
Mm-hmm. But it's working, isn't it?
It's fun. It's working, yeah.
No.
I
don't see Tom
I'll
Holland
wait.
movies.
I mean, it's going to come out on iTunes soon.
Yeah, I'll watch it on the airplane.
Yeah, you wait for the airplane.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a solid airplane movie.
Just for his movies. I mean, I was on set a few days, and his acting style blends more with watching it on.
He's got to get that voice down.
Yeah, that squeaky voice. Hey, I'm Spider-Man. No, it's too much. It's too much.
Loved watching WandaVision.
And I'm gonna miss it when it's over.
This film will always be personally dear to me because it was my first time playing Captain Marvel. We shot this first. So I had to stumble and try to figure out who this character was with no script for this and no script for Captain Marvel either, and perform for the first time in front of, legends.
All your life you've been just waiting for this chance to play a woman of supreme power, and you've done it. And has it gone to your head?
I hope not.
Have you gone around with people saying, you know what I can do?
No.
Oh, come on.
Why would I do that?
You wouldn't. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't. It's not my style. Who's looking to
The
me?
world.
No,
The
I don't
world
have
does
any
great.
answers.
Oh,
I'm just a
come
human
on.
being like everybody else.
No.
I didn't feel the pressure before. I don't really feel it now. To me, first of all, I feel like there's been a lot of female superheroes in the MCU that were carrying movies, so I think that that's kind of...
The movie wasn't named after...
I know, but they still were the leads of it, so blah, blah, blah.
I don't know.
So it's like I'm just joining them and like finishing the work that they started, really, or continuing the work that they started, more like it.
Deal in the fact that you're the first woman to helm her own Marvel film. 2019, I can't believe we're still saying first, but we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Have you taken all that in, digested it, like let it sink? No.
No. It just doesn't feel good to think about. I don't think it's helpful to the work. I don't think it's helpful to my brain to think about that. And it also just feels like a little sensational in that there's a lot of female characters in the Marvel Universe already. I don't, I understand, and I want to own the fact that there is some historical merit to it, but I also just don't want to negate the work that has already been done before.
My moment. It's like so many people make these movies. Yeah, it takes thousands of people. So I'm excited. I've been seeing some crew members and some of my castmates I haven't seen yet. So it's been good. I think that if I go out of my way to be a role model, I shouldn't be one.
I just want to be myself, and if it's interesting to you, then cool, and if not, that's all right. But I got to be for me first.
You recently defended Brie Larson and Captain Marvel against online trolls. Why was it important for you to do that?
Well, I mean, look, the truth is, I just think it's important to stand for what is right. I think it's important to stand for what is true. And I think that if we can speak truth in love, then we're doing our job in this world. And I wasn't really privy to a lot of the stuff that was going on with that. I was just getting hit on Twitter by a lot of people. I was being added and seen people saying that were clearly false, inflammatory things about Brie, about Captain Marvel, and looping us as Shazam into that. And I was like, no. I'm not. I'm not going to be a part of lies or defamation. Nor is this movie. Nor should any of you. There's no reason why any of this needs to be going on. And then other people got upset because they were like, we were just leaving our honest comments on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, I'm not talking about your Rotten Tomatoes comments. I'm talking about actual fabrications and defamation online. So, I have a lot of love for Brie, and I think she's a tremendous talent, but it was less about me defending Brie. I don't think Brie needs me to defend Brie, but we all need to defend what is true. And if we have an opportunity to do that, and I had an opportunity to do that, then I wanted to be able to do that.
I'd like to bring to light an aspect of our industry that has risen to the surface in the last week. It's an issue that's been bubbling since really the whole time, but this issue has a solution that each one of us in this room can participate in. So earlier this week, USC Annenberg's Inclusive Initiative released findings that 67% of the top critics reviewing the 100 highest grossing movies in 2017 were white males. Less than a quarter were white women, and less than 10% were unrepresented men. Only 2.5% of those top critics were women of color. So you're probably thinking right now, wow, that super doesn't represent the country that I live in, and that's because that's true. This is a huge disconnect from the US population breakdown of 30% white men, 30% white women, 20% men of color, and 20% women of color. So why does that matter? Why am I up here giving you statistics when I could be spending this time talking about my publicist, Lindsay, who I love, and thank you so much for bringing Jesse up here and making me super emotional while I rattle off percentages of people. On top of all of this, am I saying that I hate white dudes? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is that if you make a movie that is a love letter to women of color, there is an insanely low chance a woman of color will have the chance to see your movie and review your movie. And this is also not to mention other people besides white dudes like Star Wars and would love the opportunity to do a set visit. And I'm also saying I don't hate white dudes. I'm just saying we need to be conscious of our bias and do our part to make sure that everyone is in the room. It really sucks that reviews matter, but reviews matter. Good reviews out of festivals give small independent films a fighting chance to be bought and seen. Good reviews help films gross money. Good reviews slingshot films into awards contenders. A good review can change your life. It changed mine. Our industry has gone through a major growth. Thank you for clapping for my good reviews.
I love that review.
It's so excited to be like, yeah, that one time. Our industry has gone through a major growth. We are expanding to make films that better reflect the people that buy movie tickets. But they are not allowed enough chances to read public discourse on these films by the people that these films were made for. I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what that film meant to women of color, to biracial women, to teen women of color, to teens that are biracial. And for the third time, I don't hate white dudes. I know that this means that my work will be shown, digested, discussed by a variety of people, not just a singular perspective. I want to know what my work means to the world, not a narrow view. So what would it take for the critic pool to match this 30-30-2020 real-world breakdown, and how can we get there? Well, here I am. It's easier than you might think. The bottom line is that if each of the top 100 films in a year added 9 critics that are 3 underrepresented males, 3 white females, 3 underrepresented females, and the average critic pool would match the US population in just 5 years. First, female and underrepresented critics can't review what they don't see, and many are denied accreditation or access to press screenings. So if you are in this room, or if you know someone who is a gatekeeper, please make sure that these invites and credentials find their way to more underrepresented journalists and critics, many of whom are freelancers. Give them access, give them the opportunity to see, hear, and write about our stories. Artists, agents, publicists, and marketing execs, you can do your part by committing to an inclusive press plan and junket strategy on your end. This includes asking for a wider array of magazine photographers in addition to writers. Second, feed the pipeline. I know you're thinking, Brie, we'd love to have a balanced pool, but there's not enough underrepresented critics to make this realistic. Okay, well, I'm super happy to tell you that 41% of bachelor degrees in journalism and communication go to white women and 22% to women of color. So the talent is there, the access and opportunity are not. Let's sponsor more opportunities like this for journalists and critics moving forward. Thank you very much for listening to my verbal PowerPoint presentation. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Now, one thing I want to say, one thing I love about you is you had a great story happen recently about inclusivity and diversity in press. And I'm a white male, and I commended you completely on that. But
Thanks.
most people, when that article dropped, it was headlines that were completely taking you out of context. Like she wants no white men at press junket, which is not what you were saying. And people need to read the articles to actually find out the context of what you were saying.
Yeah.
But as an actor, when you have to say something like that, do you worry about how things get twisted? And for audiences who only do read headlines, can you clarify what you were saying? 'Cause I think it's awesome what you're doing, and I hope that more actors do it.
I mean, it's hard for me to comment on that because I don't know what the headlines were or what was said or what I said or what people think that I said. All that I know is what I'm looking for is to bring more seats up to the table.
Yep.
No one's getting their chair taken away. There's not less seats at the table. There's just more seats at the table.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love that you're doing that. And
I think that vulnerability is something that people really appreciate about you. You know, you're very outspoken and often get yourself into what some people might consider hot water, just because you say what you feel and it might not be popular. One thing in particular was that, you know, you would like to see more people, I don't want to say of color, but a more diverse pool of journalists speaking to you. Do you think that you've seen that change happen since you first made those statements, and what does it feel like?
Yeah, I do. In particular on this press tour, I totally feel the difference. I mean, the difference is also in how I'm structuring my time, and that I'm spending more time in my press days than I did previously to make sure all the voices are being heard in the room. That's maybe part of the conversation that people are understanding, is that we're not kicking people out, we're just adding more people to it. And for me, I'm a curious person, and when I make a movie, I spend a lot of time on it, and I want to get different perspectives on it. It makes days like this, where I'm talking to a different person every 5 minutes, way more interesting, because I'm not being asked the same questions over and over again. You have people from all over the world who have different life experiences, different things that they're gravitating towards. It makes you feel like the work you're doing is more complex and complete.
Absolutely.
And it's important, I think, for me to state that no one's losing a chair. We're just adding more chairs. And that meant for me
taking more time on my press days, adding more hours to my day to make sure all those voices were in, because I'm not trying to exclude anyone. The importance is to lift up more voices.
The thing with Captain Marvel is that you've talked about critics like me who you wanted more inclusion in. What's wrong with that?
I'm happy to hear you say that.
Yeah.
But that's like a big deal too, because it really has to come from you guys. It has to come from the critics themselves. And for me, it was like, it wasn't just like I just had like a feeling, a notion, and was like, you know, I'm going to do this. I had to spend a lot of time and spoke with Stacy Smith at USC Annenberg, and we did like, we took data, you know. We ran numbers before this was something that we actually took any further steps with, just to make sure, because who cares what my feeling is? It has to be like an actual thing, you know? But I've really loved it, to be honest. I've had a really great time on this press tour because I'm meeting new people, and I love meeting new people.
Do you think that Captain Marvel is a movie for women or for more audience?
I should hope that it's for everybody, because I feel like women have been going to the theater to watch men-led films for like the whole time, so it seems like it would make sense that maybe a man could sit through a movie with a woman as a lead, but we'll see what happens, I guess, you know? I do think that my main purpose for making this was I wanted to create a very dynamic, strong female character that young women could look up to, but it's not exclusive for that at all. It's for everybody. I've confused people sometimes, because sometimes people will walk up and they'll go, hey, oh my gosh, like, can I take a picture? And I go, you know, no, but would you want to just go for a walk?
Yeah.
Or like, would you want to like an art museum? I'm like, do you want to talk about this painting together? You know, back when we were out in the world. But like, and it used to, like, even when I was with other actors, they'd be like, well, why, you're taking more time. Like, why not just take the picture? And I'm like, because like, I'd rather get to know this person and have a human interaction than feel like I was just like a stop along the way.
Yeah. That's really cool. I haven't heard many people say that before either.
I would definitely say I'm more for the interaction too. Like if someone,
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's like what brought us together, you know? Whoa, this thing that you saw that I worked on, like it brought us together in this moment. Like, what do we have in common and what can we gain from this experience? Not that there isn't value in like having a photo. I love when my phone pops up and it's like previous memories and it like shows me. So it's not to say that like that isn't of value. It's just, oh my gosh, we're here alive on this earth together. Like what brought us together?
Guys, you're big, and I'm gonna shoot the bird. In this milieu of men, like all this testosterone around, what was it like for you on set, Brie?
It's not like the film. I had the best time. I actually felt like everyone's little sister, and we had the most awesome time together.
I did it for, you know, the little kids. I did it for the little boys and girls out there. We don't know. You never know when you're making a movie how it's going to impact people, and we still don't know if it will. But just that moment alone made me feel like it's all worth it.
Has there been a fan interaction with you that has really stuck out?
Yes.
Anything that you've done?
Yes. Some I just like don't want to share because it was like very personal. People having very personal things with the movie that I won't share. But one that really, really got me was this little boy who he was getting bullied because he carried a Captain Marvel lunchbox to school. But he said it really like, it was fine. He was like, yeah, you know, I get bullied because I carry a Captain Marvel lunchbox to school, but I don't care. And actually, I met this girl who carries a Star Wars lunchbox to school, and people were making fun of her because they were like, Star Wars is for boys, and they made fun of me because they were like, Captain Marvel is for girls. And I stood up for her, and we're friends now, and I think it's cool that we have our lunchbox. And I know, it's the sweetest thing.
You both carried a great attitude.
Brie grew so close with Kimmel and his best friend Stephen Del Bagno, known as Cajun, she invited both of them to have small roles in Captain Marvel. Then, just 1 week after filming their roles, Del Bagno died in a training accident. At the time, we spoke to Cajun's sister at their family's Santa Clarita home.
We love him and we miss him, and
The hole will never be filled.
Brie Larson posted on Instagram at the time, Cajun inspired her to work harder and live fuller. Larson attended Cajun's memorial service and has remained close with his family.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Alana, for sharing the mission of Able Gamers with me. I love hearing what you're doing, using the power of video games to bring people together and provide people with disabilities custom gaming setups so that they can enjoy video games too is just absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. If you don't know about their work, please check out Able Gamers, support their work. I know I will be. Yeah, sending love. Bye.
I love those movies. I think that they're, as much as something like Scenes from a Marriage is incredibly important to me, Star Wars is in this, or Lord of the Rings. Oh, goddamn, Lord of the Rings. I forgot Lord of the Rings. Those ones are kind of in the same category for me. I mean, the budgets are very different. We're talking about much different scripts and a much different sort of facade, but at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. We're talking about humans and human struggle and the world being a magical place, and that's what it's all about.
Definitely, Brie. It's been lovely talking to you. We look forward to seeing you in lots and lots of
Thank you.
Of projects of all different styles, and I
Thank
really
you.
encourage everyone to go and see Short Term 12.
Thank you.
Princess Valhalla Happy. Damn, girl, you're a superstar.
What I forgot up until recently was waking up in the middle of the night with me and my sister, my mom, all in the same bed, hearing my mom like covering her mouth, sobbing, trying to not make a sound for us to hear. It wasn't until I was prepping room where I realized that moment was the only crack. Thinking my kids are asleep, I can release, because where else is she gonna go? My mom was struggling while being in a very small space with 2 children and being sure to not put any of it on us. You realize how hard she tried, and you see it from this perspective that you couldn't as a kid. We lived in a studio apartment, just a room with a bed that came out of the wall. And my mom couldn't afford even a Happy Meal. We ate top ramen. I had no toys, and I had like 2 shirts and like a pair of jeans, and that was it. But I had my mom all to myself, and I remember it being the coolest period of time. I was really, really shy, painfully shy. So the idea of me wanting to do something that's extremely extroverted just seemed bizarre and unnatural. Being an actor hasn't been easy. You're given mostly no's. There's like these sayings that like, just keep on going, it's just around the corner. And I just felt like I was like, this is the longest block ever.
It's like 20 years walking on one block waiting for that quarter to turn.
Honesty has always been one of the draws for you to acting.
Yeah.
That pursuit of honesty.
Yep. Because I've just always sort of felt different. I always felt like social interaction was really hard for me. Eye contact was really hard for me. I always just sort of wanted to be alone. I like chose to be homeschooled. I really just wanted to like watch movies and write and think and play music. And whenever I watched American cinema, I always felt this sense of sadness because I didn't relate to the women in a lot of the contemporary films when I was, a teenager. I always felt like they were just like so beautiful and so sort of like together, and even the moments when they weren't together, it was like perfect. And it made me so sad because I felt like it was this concept that I couldn't reach. And I always felt like everyone around me knew how to do things, like they knew how to do life, and I didn't know. And it was like this big secret that everyone was like, oh, you don't get it? Sorry. And it really disturbed me and sort of tortured me for a while. And it wasn't until the incredible moment of discovering the Criterion Collection, which was right when Netflix started, and I started watching everything Criterion had. And it was like, I Am Curious Yellow and I Am Curious Blue and Anna Karina in A Woman is a Woman, and or even Rashomon. There were these, or also one of my favorites, Scenes from a Marriage. It was when I was finally able to see complexity and honesty, and that there were these women that were beautiful and thought-provoking and also very complicated, at times unlikable, that I started to relate very much to that. And I went, oh, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm interested in. And that's what I'm sort of interested in bringing back to American cinema is showing, instead of this like ideal of perfection, of showing the beauty of the flaw, of the imperfection, and kind of dispelling the myth a little bit as to what a woman is, because I think it's more complicated than what I had seen before.
This European cinema affected your view.
It's not just European. I mean, it's Japanese as well.
Yeah.
I mean, for different reasons. They all, of course, their cultures have like their own sort of view of women as well. But yeah.
And did that start to change your process?
Well, I guess I think I just became a little scarier to people. I think a lot of the time when I was auditioning, people were like, whoa, this is just Twilight. Like, you don't have to go so far with it, If you are watching this right now and you are somebody that struggles, perhaps struggled with social anxiety, depression, or just as somebody that is shy, quiet, these are all things that I identify with as myself. And it doesn't mean it has to be a limitation in any way. You can still accomplish great things and also have those be part of you. It's cool.
So is praise weird for you?
I'm terrible at it.
They're taking it.
Yeah, I'm terrible. That's something that I've been kind of critiqued on, is you're supposed to say, thank you. But instead I'm like, oh, the person's a liar, they don't know. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard when the performance doesn't reach you because it emotionally can't resonate with me. I lived it, and I know who I am, and I know that that's not me. It's hard to believe that it could affect somebody else, especially, like this movie too. I love the fact that it affects people so deeply, and the experience affects me so deeply, and I watch the film and I see everything that happened in between every cut.
Feel that way about acting in general? I mean, you going back and looking at your stuff and going, I wish I'd done that.
I mean, I can't watch anything.
Have you seen this?
I have seen this. This was going with the letting go thing the first time that I was able to watch something and not have a complete panic attack over. It was the first time I was able to watch it. And I actually think it was because there was a lot of screen time that I was able, it wasn't like a shock, if you're in something every 20 minutes, it's like you're just so much anticipation, like, oh God, I know where this is going, like my stupid face is gonna be on screen soon. But if it's just there all the time, it just feels like looking at a lamp for a very long time. I just kind of went, oh, this is a person. I got over it and didn't feel as shocked.
Did the shy go away in the process of all this, or?
I think, yeah. I mean, I still think that I'm most definitely an introvert. Like, I excel in the comfort of my own home. I'm not really one to go out. I get quite nervous. I mean, this sort of thing makes me quite nervous. But through, I think I learned how to be a better communicator and to better express myself through this medium. And I feel like I've continued to do that. It's easier for me in a lot of ways to cry, to express myself, to get out bigger emotions through a character than through me, Brie. My ultimate goal is not to be the face of a poster. I can't even imagine. I don't think that people will go see that movie. I can't imagine anyone going, Larson in. It's like, who the hell is that? I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. I just like the work. Like I said, I like telling stories. And I want to be able to keep doing that for as long as I possibly can. I think that this planet is so bizarre and so magical and so interesting that I think I want to keep exploring it, and this job takes me places and takes me with people and gets me talking, gets me out of my cave in my home, and that's great. But I'm not like, wow, if only I could just get a bunch of clothes and like walk in a car. I mean, I can't even imagine. You were talking about award season, and there's just such a huge part of me. It's like, I have a panic attack watching these people on that red carpet. I don't know how to do that.
But it might be fun. It might be an expansion experience.
Yes. Well, if that, like, as with, before I got the script for Short Term 12, I couldn't imagine being the lead of something. It would seem so intimidating. But when the opportunity comes and you feel like it's a adventure that you as the hero on your journey are supposed to take, you rise to the occasion. You talk to people who have been through it to try and get a guide map of what it is that they did, how they survived it. And, you bring, for me, it's like, bring my mom, who reminds me if I'm, being a spoiled brat, and you go on it and you see what happens, but try to not put too much emphasis on it, because it's not really real life either, is it?
Cause you remind me every day I'm not enough, but I still stay. If you want me to leave, fall back fast, baby, I'll go.
Has a stranger ever changed your life?
I have kind of a wild story that I've never voiced. I shared this really remarkable moment with this homeless man. I was near the water, the ocean, and I was staring at it, and he was near me, and he came over and was quite close to me, and we were both kind of just staring at the water. And then we looked at each other, and we just didn't say a word. We just stared at each other for what felt like a very long time. And then we both just started laughing, and he was like, "You're cool." And I didn't say anything. And then we just looked back out at the ocean, and he kind of went about his day. He knew all these different people, and I hung out there for a little bit, but I never said a word. I don't know how to say that necessarily changed my life, other than I think I long for that, like, all the time. And those are some of the moments I get when I'm on set. Like, I've shared eye contact and intimacy with people that have changed me, and that was just one of those moments where I was like, wow, we're all just, here, and it's brief, and it's beautiful, and we're all the same.
I love that.